Hello guys and gals, it's your tech diva, Miss D. As an educational technologist, teacher, or anyone in the educational field, you'll be faced with differentiating instruction and catering to different learners with various learning styles. So it's important when creating or implementing these lessons, activities, or tools that we apply some of the instructional design models and methods. We'll take a look at 7 of those models and methods today. We'll look at ADDIE, Bloom's taxonomy, the Dick and Carey model, Gagne's 9 steps, Kemp's instructional design model, Kirkpatrick's 4 levels of instruction, and Merrill's first principles of instruction. ADDIE is an acronym for Analysis, Design, Development, Implementation, and Evaluation. This instructional design model has been around since 1975 and includes 5 phases that help plan and create instruction. This model has been revised several times after seeing that the initial linear representation wasn't actually a true depiction of it at all. It later evolved into a more powerful layout for learning by showing that all parts of instruction are connected. For example, changes that occur in one step may affect any of the other 4 steps. In the revised representation of the ADDIE process, the phases are secluded to work for themselves by themselves and not necessarily in a linear or chronological order. The activities may actually be completed concurrently. I like that it can be used to create all kinds of instruction, from teaching students about physics to training surgeons on how to use an array of medical equipment to training soldiers for the battlefield. One disadvantage to using ADDIE is that it can be time-consuming and costly, especially if changes or setbacks are incurred. Another common complaint, depending on how the model is implemented, is that there can be limits. In 1948, Benjamin Bloom, along with a group of psychologists, studied classroom activities and teachers' goals of not only having their students learn basic information, but to also improve their cognitive abilities. In other words, they wanted to help improve their students' ability to think, not just memorize information verbatim. After all, memorizing is not the same as thinking about it or understanding it. Helping someone improve their thinking skills is not easy, but Bloom's taxonomy helps with the process. It's a list of skills used to help teachers determine which level of thinking students have achieved or met on a continuum from lower to higher order thinking. This was later updated in the late 90s by one of Bloom's students named Lauren Anderson. Anderson updated the names of the categories and swapped the top 2 elements on the pyramid. So let's take a look at this image representing the revised process. Skills at the bottom demonstrate lower order thinking, and skills at the top demonstrate higher order thinking. One of the most important concepts of Bloom's taxonomy is that students should master each lower order thinking skill before progressing to other skills that represent more higher order thinking. This is referred to as mastery learning. For example, teachers should focus on students remembering information before expecting them to understand it, helping them to understand it before expecting them to apply or analyze it, and so forth. Teachers are constantly able to use this as a checklist to scaffold learning and to ensure that students are mastering learning objectives. Although there are some disadvantages to using Bloom's taxonomy, such as the overlap between skill levels or categories, what I like most about this model is that each skill represents a building block of learning for the students. In 1978, 3 gentlemen by the names of Walter Dick, Lou Carey, and James Carey developed the detailed and comprehensive process of what is now known as the Dick and Carey model. This system includes 10 major processes that start with identifying instructional goals and end with summative evaluations. All 10 components depend on each other for input and output. The feedback gathered is then used to determine if the goal has been met. You'll find this used a lot in higher ed as well as science, medical, and government fields. I like that this model works at emphasizing learning objectives, and it's also scalable and can easily be modified to use with various group sizes, whether large or small. Being that all stages must be completed and it can be time-consuming serves as a big disadvantage in my book.
Created using Powtoon.